Hi, this is Dolph from the King of Uber podcast show. Full-time drivers are getting hit the hardest during this time of crisis, and we as hosts feel for you. So we wanted to share a new way for you to create a second income stream during your downtime. It's a peer-to-peer storage and parking marketplace called Neighbor.com. With Neighbor, you can easily earn thousands of dollars from your home for doing nothing more than letting a neighbor rent your space. Neighbor is like Airbnb, but for parking and storage. So if you have a garage, parking post, driveway, or any other extra space you're not using, then take 5 minutes and list your space on Neighbor. You can learn more by clicking the link in the show notes or visiting host.neighbor.com/kingofuber. Neighbor allows you to set your own price, earn passive income monthly, and make money on your own terms. The great part about renting your space is you don't even have to interact with people. No joke. It's essentially COVID proof. So go check them out at host.neighbor.com/kingofuber. Again, that's host.neighbor.com/kingofuber. Coming up, we discuss money saving tips, how to cope during this time, and more. A special thanks to JT Legal Group. They can be reached by phone at 888-542-6351 or click the link at our website at kingofuber.com. From California, you're listening to the King of Uber podcast. This is episode 98, and here he is, the King of Uber, Johnny.
You know, these days I really don't feel like a king.
A queen.
I would hope not, Johnny. You don't feel like a
I meant to
queen.
say it the other way around.
Uh-huh.
You know, because I got a breadwinner at home. I'm just sitting around eating my butt off, eating a lot of carbs. Since last week, I think I've been more cautious about what I've been eating, and I probably get almost back down to my normal weight that I was at. How you guys been doing?
Great. How are you, Dolph?
Doing all right.
Yeah,
All things
that's
considered.
good. Yeah, really, right? I want to make a little correction. Last week we were talking about neighbor.com and I kept on saying neighbors.com. I'm sorry if you guys been looking it up, but it's neighbor.com/King of Uber. It's a good way you can make a little extra money, or if you have too much stuff in your house like I do and don't have a garage, you could rent something that's cheaper than the storage places and probably more accessible and probably closer to you, rather than driving somewhere far and going through all the security and stuff to store stuff. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to mention that.
Yeah, it's kind of like Uber, but for storage space.
Stuff.
Yeah,
For stuff.
and it's coronavirus free. That's the good thing too.
Yeah.
I know there's a few things we want to talk about. One of the things I've been noticing, and you guys know I've been bored and doing nothing at home, but every once in a while I will go out and just for a drive, I don't know, for like 15, 20 minutes. And it's crazy how fast people still drive on the freeway. You know, there's no traffic. Nothing's going on, and people are still driving recklessly.
You know, they're saying that in California, there's actually a large surge of drivers that are driving 100 plus miles an hour, around California. And it's like,
wow,
I mean, I was in the middle lane going about 75, 78, and cars were flying by me in the fast lane.
That's ridiculous.
Now, I would say, when there is the end of the world, zombie apocalypse, then it is okay to. We're not quite there yet, but when we are there, 150, 200, go for it.
Here's a funny thing, but I couldn't believe how many people were getting pulled over and getting tickets.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of cops out there right now.
Well, yeah, I mean they're not going calls on what do you call it, criminal cases, and they're not, there's not really a lot of calls on, going out. So they're probably, the highway patrol's probably out there just grabbing all the speeders that they can.
Oh yeah, what else do they have to do? I mean,
well, and here's another thing. I saw 2 accidents in my 20-minute drive that I did, which
wow.
I thought was, I know, I couldn't believe it.
And what do you do if you get into an accident?
You call JT Legal Group. Come on, everybody knows that listen to us.
That wasn't just, that wasn't just for,
That wasn't just a plug.
But that was good. That was good.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't believe how many people are doing that stuff. What else is going on? I know some of you that haven't got their stimulus check or haven't got their unemployment started. We want to give you some tips on what you could do to lower your monthly cost right now. Number one, what I would do is if you're not driving, I would call your insurance company and change your policy over to the lowest possible rate. And don't quote me on this, but I believe like if you're paying like $130 a month, and, you know, you have rideshare insurance on your thing, you have that $50,000 coverage, and you own your car, a bank doesn't own it. You call your insurance company and just do, liability insurance. You could put the minimum $15,000 on there, take the rideshare out until you start driving again, and, you know, your monthly payment should go down drastically. Dolph, have you done that?
Not yet.
Yeah, but you should think about that. Another thing you could do is if you guys are on one of these phone plans where you're paying over $100 for your phone, I don't know if you guys know this, but phone companies, if there's new rates out there, they never tell the customers. So if you have a plan where you're paying like, you know, $90, $100, $110 a month, and you're not a special plan, and you're only, you know, maybe you could do a family count. You could change to that. You could also call and ask them, find out what the cheapest rate is. When I called, they put me down on a flat $70 fee. It was $50 for the phone, texting, all that normal stuff, and $20 for unlimited gigs for using the internet, since I need that for, you know, when I was driving Uber. So they put me, including tax and fees and everything, it comes out to $70. Before that, I was paying like $96.
Oh, so you saved a couple bucks.
$26 I saved. A month. Yeah. I would do that. You could always call your cable company and find out if there's any new deals. They might ask you to, you know, if you have Spectrum or something like that, they might ask you to sign another 12-month or 24-month contract, but they will lower your fees if there's another better deal out there. There's a lot of things you could do to cut your costs down. I'd go through your phone and find out what your direct deposits are. If you signed up for a gym, you might as well cancel it. Mm-hmm. I know there's a lot of people out there that haven't canceled their gym memberships. If you have other monthly charges, I would cancel that. I was playing Clash of Clans for the past, I think, 5.5 years. You wouldn't believe how high my level was. I deleted that app because I was spending $5 to $10 a month on that thing. So like I just got all my bills down just to the basic minimum. Also, if you guys have like, you know, high credit card bills and, you know, if you just pay the minimum, I think you should be all right on that. You know, the rent thing and mortgage thing. I know if you call your mortgage lender, some mortgage lenders will let you, they'll add it on to the back part. So if you don't pay it for 2 months, they're going to add 2 more payments to you without paying, you know, this month or last month. Rent right now is a sticky situation, and I did a little bit of research, and I found out that if you don't pay rent, your landlord could still send you an eviction letter. It does not mean you're going to be evicted, but it does mean that when all this is over and they lift the state of California lifts the eviction ban, that's when it's going to move forward even faster than the normal process. Hopefully you don't have a landlord like that. Mm-hmm. If you make a deal with them, some landlords will want you to pay half now and then half when you can. Or I even heard some landlords are saying, you know, they're giving discounts for 2 months, but then after that you have to pay the full amount. If you don't pay the full amount, they're going to start the eviction process, even though that you don't technically have to move out. But it will screw up your credit for the next 7 years, so that's not cool. I feel for tenants, but I also feel for, you know, people that own, you know, property, because this might be their only lifeline of money. And I'm sure they have bills to pay and they need to put food on the table for themselves.
I will say, though, that's the risk that you take.
I agree.
When you buy property like that.
I agree.
So I'm not saying that too bad, but, you know, it's almost like playing the stock market, you know?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So if you're going to pretty much gamble on the real estate market, it is what it is.
I'm also hoping that a lot of you guys aren't in a situation where you can't even put food on the table. If you are, you need to Google food banks in the area and try to pick up, you know, go to as many food banks as you can to help you survive. Hopefully you have a lot of friends and family that could also help out, you know, here and there. Another big issue I think we're going to have is the mental illness issue that I think that's going to, you know, play a really big part at the at the end of this. I was talking to a friend, and she was telling me that her stepson is having a really hard time these days, that he's just so lonely and so bored. All he's doing is playing video games all day. Kids want to go back to school. They want to play with their friends. They want to get outside the house. So if you're a parent that has a teenage kid or even, any kid under 18, I hope you spend some extra time with your children and you could kind of hopefully talk to them, get them through this and find out how they're feeling and stuff. As adults, I think we know more. We could read into things and we know how to keep ourselves busy. But I remember when I was in elementary school and during the summertime, how bored I was. Because I was always an early riser, and I always remember between like 6 o'clock and 10 or 11, I couldn't, those 4, 5, 6 hours in the morning, I had no friends to play with. Like, I couldn't play with any of my friends until in the afternoon. So I remember how bored it was and how difficult it was, and I couldn't wait to get back to school. Did you guys ever go through that?
No.
No?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that maybe the first month was actually fine. The next couple months were like, oh God, I want to go back to school. It's so boring.
Yeah, I remember how lonely I was during that time.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I really do. When you have 90 days off and you're the only kid around and, you have 2 older brothers and a sister and we have such a big age difference is that, I didn't really hang out with them because I was too young. And, they were doing their stuff. Like my middle brother was playing football, so he was going to school every day to, for summer football. And I was just sitting at home doing nothing, watching TV, sleeping. And both my parents were working at the same time. So it was, being really lonely at that time. So I can imagine what some of the other kids these days are going through too. Not able to get out, not do stuff that they're used to doing. I feel sorry for the people that are, graduating this year. Now they can't graduate. We're just going through a lot of tough times, but there is good news coming. So I read a thing where, Governor Newsom wants to, start opening restaurants and hospitality businesses, sometime this week, with conditions. I heard something like between 20 to 30%, capacity at restaurants, are going to be allowed. Where all the servers have to wear gloves and face masks. And half the tables in restaurants have to be taken out or not used so that people are, social distancing, in the restaurant. They're going to make sure all the servers, the cooks and everything are all, wearing masks and gloves and, not touching food and not able to contaminate. So the issue I have with this, and I think it's great that we're going to start opening up, little by little. The issue I have with this is for the small business owner. So I was talking, I read an article where small business owner in Georgia, you guys opened up, right? And they have all these social distancing guidelines. So the workers that are coming back to work, they're actually going to make less money than staying on unemployment.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, and if they do come back to work, they're not going to do unemployment and then they're going to go back and make less money and they're actually going to work. So, and then if that happens, but then if the restaurant stays open and it only has 20, 30% capacity, the restaurant can't make any money.
Yeah.
So it's a double-edged sword for the restaurant owner. Plus, if those workers stay on unemployment, at the end, the small business owner is going to be on the hook for that. They're going to have to end up paying, the unemployment taxes on that stuff. So they're putting in a really bad situation in Georgia.
I'd actually heard that the reason why they reopened is so that the employees will not be able to collect unemployment.
Right, exactly.
That's crazy.
But they don't have to go back to work.
Yeah, the businesses wouldn't be on the hook for it. And then on top of that, their rent will still be due. They can't forgive the rent.
Right, that too, right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
So they're not getting the discount rent that they're getting now. So they're if they start opening up their business, their rent's going to go back up to normal. So small business owners are going to be on the hook for all these bills that they're going to have. So that's going to be really tough.
Yeah, I'm just kind of thinking this is probably a little premature to start doing.
Right.
I think California is probably doing it probably a little bit premature, but at the same time, I think it's a little bit more realistic, if that makes sense.
But at least, well, this is just my thing, and I know people are going to disagree with me, but, them opening up slowly, I think it's the right thing to do, because then they can keep track of the cases. If you guys have that Orange County app to tell you about all the cases in Orange County, about how many deaths there are, how many new cases, these past few days, Orange County has had the highest cases they've ever had. And I don't know if it's because the beach protests we had, not this weekend, but the weekend before. We've hit there was one day we hit 108. There's another day we hit 136. So like the cases is going up. We had 5 deaths in one day in Orange County. I think that was the highest we ever had in Orange County. Excuse me real quick. I have to cough. And no, I do not have the virus. So, we have those things. So, I'm hoping there's light at the end of the rainbow. And then here's another thing.
You said light at the end of the rainbow.
I was like, you mean the tunnel?
Yeah.
Hey, English is not my first language. And I was talking to another Uber driver today, and I was telling him that, he asked me about going back to work. And I said, well, it all depends. I think the Uber drivers that are getting unemployment for the next 4 months, they're not going to come back to work until that thing runs out. Because why not get the $767 or whatever every month for the next, every week for the next, 4 months? Why would you want to come back to work until that thing ends? So when that thing does end, that's a really good time to get it. But if you decide to work, like a few drivers that I know that are still working, they love it these days because there's no traffic, there's no drivers out on the road, and I guess there's enough pings to go around right now. But I'm not telling you guys to go out and drive. I think you have to be, really careful about, what you do and how you're going to handle the situation and your family situation. So that's all up to you guys.
I'm kind of in that very unfortunate situation where it's like I can't get any unemployment. It's just not happening. I can't get the stimulus check. Why? And also,
stimulus check is because you moved and all that other stuff, right? I mean, they're not denying you that stimulus check.
No, it's just not there. It's
it hasn't come yet. But did you also know, Dolph, that 70% of Americans have not got their check yet?
Yeah. So I mean,
I did not know that.
So I'm just, waiting, I guess, for whatever. I don't know exactly what my plan is, but, I can't actually go out and drive because I'm high risk. Right. I mean, it is what it is. So I can't make income, nor am I getting any type of help from anywhere. I'm just lucky I have a wife that she's still working, but eventually
that can't last forever.
Eventually it's going to get to the point where it's like I can't pay anything. I can't buy anything. So
I think you need to. I don't know, Dolph. My advice to you is to keep on going on to unemployment site and trying to fill out everything that you need to fill out and try to do everything that you need to do.
Yeah, I've been doing that. It's just it's just showing up as zero. It's just showing up as $0. It's supposed to show up as zero.
And then it's saying basically you need to get what is that one word? Starts with the C. Clarification or something like that. I can't remember the word.
Well, and I'm also trying to get I'm trying to get the PUA.
So this is my understanding about the PUA. If you get approved for that, Uber will deactivate your account.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not like I'm driving at the moment.
Okay.
Right now,
I'm a little confused. I actually don't know what PUA is. Can someone explain it?
It's 3 letters in the alphabet, Lonnie.
I know, but what is it?
I don't know what
Pandemic Unemployment Assistance.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay.
But it is what it is. It's like, I'm in a scenario where it's like I'm not being able to collect anything, at least not at the moment.
Right.
Not unemployment, not stimulus check, and I can't go out and drive. So I'm pretty much just sitting at home. Now I could go out and drive. I could risk everything for $5 rides.
Right.
I mean, and let's be honest, there really isn't any rides out there where I live. So I would have to.
The good thing, Dolph, is that gas is cheap.
Well, yeah. But, at the same time, I'm not even buying gas. Yeah.
So I want to tell you how bored I've been, guys. I've been so bored. I've been driving to the car wash every other day to get my car washed.
Well, you might as well if you're
I'm still
paying the monthly payment for it.
I am. And another thing is that my car's always parked under this really big old tree, and and sometimes, there's bird poop on my car when I walk out there, and the leaves fall on it, and Costa Mesa is really dusty, so my car's always so I'm like, I got nothing else to do. I might as well go get my car washed just to get out of the house,
Right.
Trying to do whatever I can to, keep mentally sharp. As you know, I can't say phrases correctly. Rainbow, light, tunnel, darkness, whatever, right?
Wow.
Yeah. But, I don't know exactly how all this is going to handle out. I will be thinking about all the people out there that are really struggling. I hope you're not. I truly believe that, better things will end up coming out of this when this is all over and done. I read a report today that South Korean scientists proved that, if you catch the disease once, that you can't catch it again. Like, even if you are next to somebody again, you won't have the same symptoms that you had before. It's not totally proven yet. But I guess they did a test on 247 people in South Korea, and none of them got, they didn't have the symptoms again when they got retested, and they still had, I guess, all the enzymes and stuff inside their body. So, hopefully there'll be a vaccine pretty soon, or hopefully your immune system's strong enough if you do catch it that you could overcome it and don't have to go through all the pains that some of these people are going through. Anything else you guys want to add?
Stay at home. That's the best way to prevent. Is that stay at home.
Just to stay at home and be safe. Yeah. Well, but here's the thing: we can't stay home forever. Economy needs to go back. People still need to live their lives, but at the same time, I don't want to see people dying for us not being cautious or being too reckless.
Exactly.
All right. Remember, always tip your delivery drivers, your drivers, tip anybody that you can. Help out the economy. Help out your fellow person.
And don't be creepy.
And try to stay alive.
Until next time.
Bye.
For more information about driving for Uber and Lyft, reach out to us on Facebook or visit our website at kingofuber.com.